In Amto village at night, the fire cracked low in the corner of the clay hut. Outside, the wind moaned through the thatched eaves. Yet the silence hung inside. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of helplessness. Ademola sat beside the wooden bed, his rough hands clutching the cold, trembling fingers of his wife, Moronkeji. Her breathing was shallow. The sweet scent of herbs lingered. An old calabash of palm oil mixed with powder roots lay untouched beside her. The concoction had failed. The local physician, Abewerinu, stood quietly near the entrance, his staff of carved roko tapping softly against the floor, his face carved deep with wisdom and worry. Boy wait, even his voice was not hired. My son, he said gently, you have done all that we know. This sickness, it is not of ordinary kind. It drinks her spirit like a drought drinks from the river. Ademola bowed his head, his spirit cracking. A single tear escaped down his cheek. Is there nothing more? He whispered, clinging to hope like a drowning man to drift watch. Baba Iwerino placed a hand on his shoulder. You must prepare your heart. Perhaps it is a time. The gods may be calling her home. Moronkeji stared faintly. Her dried lips parted. Ade, she croaked, her voice no stronger than a bird sigh. I am here, Keji. Ademola leaned closer, his voice breaking, pressing her hand to his chest. I won't leave your side, he said. Moronkeji smiled weakly. You are the river where my soul rests. Those words shattered something inside Ademola. His spirit and place. He was not ready to let go of his law. The sun had barely crowned the east the next morning when a traveler arrived. He was a dust-covered man, clogged in mystery, with eyes like dying stars, eyes that are seeing too much. He asked for water. Ademola, though deep in grief, gave him a gourd without question. You have the heart of a lion, the traveler said, after drinking deeply. But your eyes, they carry stone. Ademola shared his body of Moronkeji, or the fairy remedies, of the slow march of death in his own. The traveler looked around, then leaned in. There is a leaf, he said, with a low voice, green like fresh rain, shaped like the tongue of a serpent. They say it grows only in Okegede, the forbidden village beyond the Okmo forest. Ademola heart stiffed. The God's forest? The traveler nodded. His gaze grave. They say no one returns, but sometimes what people call curses are only truths. They fear to understand. And with those words, he left, vanishing or erasing it like a shadow. That night, Ademola sat, his eyes locked on the heavens. His heart was the storm of desperation and resolve. Moronkeji's life hung by a fragile thread, and the only chance is the forbidden journey. There, he has made up his mind to go. From a distant courtyard came laughter, sharp and cold. Not laughter of celebration, but that of mockery. He's going mad, some whispered near the village hut. Seeking death with his own hands, cupped others by the palm wine shed. One of them said, leave him. Meaning, Rock Johnny is what kills a cockroach. Among the loudest was Shifarije. He stole Posoro's village customer, known for his rigid belief in tradition and a deep-seated fear of anything that challenged her central norms. He raised his voice before the gathered elders. This boy insults the spirit. You think you can walk into the cursed lands and return? Only a fool chases the shadow. The crowd murmured in agreement. Others looked away unsure. But Ademola remained unmoved. He was determined to defy death for love. Early in the morning, as the rooster crowed and the mist caught low around the thatched roofs, Ademola stood at his doorway. He started across his shoulder. His uncle, Baojo, his eyes heavy with sorrow, came and said, "You will die, Ade. The forest has swallowed warriors stronger than you. And you are not even a warrior. Let her go, my son. The gods will give you another." Ademola met his gaze, steady as a mountain, and replied, "She is my wife, not a replaceable yam. If I do nothing, she dies. If I try, there is hope." A silence fell. Then, from behind, an old woman, a seer with eyes like river stones, and a voice that smelled of rain and smoke, approached and said, "No prison is stronger than unchallenged assumption," she said, raising her staff. "This forest they fear, who has truly seen it. The paths might not be caused. It might be dangerous, though perhaps the boy must go, so we may all see." A villager from behind rebuked, "Old riddles will not shoot him, yeah? You are only pushing him to death." But the seed had been planted. Ademola went back inside to prepare way for the journey. His thoughts are a mix of spoken words of fear and hope. The chains of the village fear and assumption began to draw. The next day, Ademola embarked on the journey into the cursed land, from which nobody returns alive. The Okoro forest welcomed no one indeed. It loomed fast and scary. The bamboos and trees there looked like old giants, reached into the sky. The air was thick, humid, only heard swelling sounds, and alive. The paths vanished behind Ademola as soon as he entered, swallowed by vines and mist. Bird calls echoed strangely. Each one stranger than the last. Shadows looked snaky from every side. A feeling of a strange being on the tree trunk. Whispers chipped in through the undergrowth. "See," Ademola pressed on. Fear and purpose waged war on his mind. He stepped over roots that felt like fins, brushed past leaves, reflecting the unnatural color. More than once, he froze, convinced someone or something was watching. He saw eyes, not of beasts, but of strange beings. They blinked from the hollows of distant trees, wide, blinking, not natural, not seen. From behind, a crooked termite mud, something snake, short and hunched, no taller than its waist. A ugly, scary creature, with foul greenish skin, long fingers, tipped with dirty claws. His gleaming eyes reflecting red and doom. He didn't speak. He grinned. Ademola turned sharply. The twisted smile split on the scary creature's face, and it vanished behind the tree with a taking stitch. He stood on the branch above, gone again. To his left, a flash. To his right, laughter. Not humor, not peace. Mocking, echoing, so close. Ademola asked, thundered. The shadows bent unnaturally. Vines creaked, leaves trembled, though there was no wind. Fear gripped Ademola. He raised his hunting gun with trembling arms. Show yourself, he screamed. Nothing. Then the face peeked from behind the tree, screaming. This time, closer. Ademola fired. Once, twice, again, and again. Into the dark, into the mist, into the madness. Echo slammed back at him like thunder. Flares burst from the tree. The forest made strange sound. The scary creature disappeared, or became a myth, or had never been there at all. Ademola turned around. He fell. The ground gave out beneath him. Ademola rolled, helpless, onto the earth, gaping away. On the third day, hunger woke up Ademola where he fainted. His face was bruised. He tried to stand up and move. His legs trembled with every step, and the world around him blurred. His vision clouded with fever and fatigue. He stumbled towards his stream, falling to his knees, gasping. The water glittered under the lights, but he had no strength to drink. Then came a rustling. Not the wind, not an ordinary animal, something deliberate. A shadow moved with grace, descending from the bamboos above. He stepped lightly onto a branch, then on the ground. Elegant, majestic, orange crown, white beard, eyes like ancient mirrors that had seen beyond time. The Brazza's monkey, the philosopher of the forest. Ademola blinked. Am I dreaming? He said to himself. The monkey didn't move. It sat, cross-legged, watching him with unsettling stillness. Who are you? Ademola whispered. The monkey did not answer. Instead, it dipped its hand into the stream and withdrew a glistening stone, shaped like a teardrop. With deliberate care, he placed it beside Ademola, then pointed toward the northern tree, winding into deeper, darker world. Ademola's brow became tense. You want me to follow? Just like that? He said. He looked around. Was this madness? Was the forest playing tricks on his desperate mind? Then he noticed the stone again. Etched faintly on it was a symbol. A spiral broken at the edge. A path incomplete. He reached for it, and Ademola looked at the monkey, and something shifted within him. Fear no longer felt like a wall, but a doorway. All right, he said, his voice steady now. Lead me. But the monkey did not move. Not yet. Instead, it led him to a patch of overgrown shrubs nearby. There, nestled beneath thick moss, was what seemed like an ancient cave. Stone faces, weeping, their eyes turned inward. A test, a redo, he said. As Ademola stepped forward, a sudden dizziness overcame him, and a blink of an eye, he became alive. He saw visions of his village scorning him, his occult voice warning him, his wife fading bread by bread. But he also saw something else, himself, not as he was, but as he would become, stronger, wiser, a bridge between fear and truth. The illusion broke. The forest grew quiet again. The monkey turned and began to walk, and this time, without hesitation, Ademola followed. And like that, help found Ademola when he least expected, at his very helpless state. Ademola named the philosopher of the forest, the guide. The guide led him across terrain that defied logic, rivers that flowed backward, hills filled with scary things, and that echoed mystery, and valleys filled with terrifying spirits. The path was not just physical, it challenged the eyes of the mind. When Ademola stumbled, the guide waited. When he panicked, it calmed him. Sometimes he left him signs, drawn in sand, etched on bark, scattered in pebbles. Ademola began to understand that silence carried its wisdom. Then came the dry ravine. The floor was littered with the bones of those who dared before him, bleached white by time, a silent reminder of faith, fearful courage. As Ademola and the guide descended, he let go, trembled through the air. Then 3 leopards emerged. Snake, powerful, eyes glowing with hunger. They crawled from the shadows, circling slowly. The largest groaned, a sound like thunder trapped in a drum. Ademola froze. His breath itched. His legs weakened. He reached for his satchel and brought out a knife, but knew no weapon could help him now. His thoughts rushed to Romoro Nkechi, pale, fading, waiting. A tear fell down his cheek. The guide stood beside him, quiet but aware. The monkey's eyes took in the leopards with an unreadable calm. Then, without a sound, he turned and vanished into the trees. Ademola's heart sank. Can he be abandoned? The 3 leopards exchanged a tactical glance on how to deal with the Uma, Providence, and brought to them a feast for the day. But minutes later, the tree shook. From under the bush emerged the creature, unlike any other, small, stocky, and fast-eyed, the only bad girl. The guide returned, perching on the branch above, and gestured slowly towards the ravine. The honey bagger sniffed the air, his nose switching. He stepped forward with a swagger that belied his size. The leopard snarled. One lunged and attacked. Then the fight began. The bagger darted beneath the leopard's strike, sinking its teeth into his forehead. The leopard roared, thrashing wildly. The others closed in, claws flashing. A blow of teeth and dust erupted. Ademola watched, heart pounding, fists clenched. The only backer fought like a song, that bite never stopping. The twisted claws rolled from jaws and latched onto one leopard's throat. The second pounced, but the backer turned, slashing his eye with vicious precision. The ravine echoed with the chaos. Blood spattered the ground. The leopards, wounded and confused, began to retreat. One limped, another growled in frustration, but backed away slowly. The third snailed, circling again, but after a final shot, repelled by the bagger's brutal counter, he too gave in, defeated. The three leopards vanished into the bush, sneaked back into the forest. The bagger stood in the center of the ravine, chest heavy, adverse and defiant. The cat climbed down from the tree, bowed slightly to the creature. Ademola followed suit. "Thank you," he said with a shriveled voice. "You are more than a beast. You are a guide." The bagger grunted, then disappeared into the forest, as if he had only paused on its way to somewhere more important. And with that, they moved forward, deeper into the unknown, but no longer afraid. At last, the trees parted, and a wind carried the sound of drums of Okeikede. It was not a cursed village, it was lively. Children ran joyfully in the village. Smoke rose from cooking fires. Elders sang in chorus. When they saw the guide, their expression changed from suspicion to reverence. "The monkey leads only the pure-hearted," said Ayedeun, the village elder. "You are welcome, traveler." Ademola told them everything. They listened, silent and moved. They led into a sacred grove. Moonlight bathed the plants, and there it was, the serpent leaf. "You may take only one," Ayedeun said. "The leaf honors humility." He plucked it with care. The villagers fed Ademola, blessed him, and bade him return with their truths. The journey back felt different. Light seemed warmer, paths clearer. As they neared Ademola's village, the guide stopped. He turned to him, eyes gleaming. "You are not coming?" Ademola asked. The guide nodded once, then disappeared into the forest. Ademola emerged into the village like a ghost reborn, mouths wide open. Some dropped to their knees, Abai really no words. Orogeji lay weaker than ever. He reeled the leaf as instructed. Her lips sipped the essence gently. At dusk, her eyes fluttered opened. But down, she sat up. "Ade," Moronkeji whispered. Ademola took her hand. I returned. It was a feeling of emotion, dissuaded emotion, so pure that only true love could bring. Against all discouragements, Moronkeji's life was saved. The tale spread like wildfire. Children gathered around fires to hear of the guide, the philosopher of the forest. The elders debated beliefs. Some clung to old fears. Others shed them like their skin. Rabbi Werino, He began to learn anew. In Yafolake, not children new proverbs. Ademola lived quietly, but became a legend. Not because he defied death, but because he questioned it. No prison is stronger than unchallenged assumption. And love, it can do many things that seem impossible. The love that changed everything. Lessons. Love can do the impossible. Ademola's journey was not driven by pride, glory, or adventure. It was love, raw, desperate, unwavering, that gave him the courage to face the unknown. True love doesn't only endure suffering, it rises to confront it. When we act from love, even fear trembles. 2. Wisdom is not always loud. It often comes in silence. The philosopher of the forest, he never spoke with words, yet his actions, guidance, and quiet presence spoke volumes. Sometimes, the greatest teachers are those who teach without speech. True wisdom is not about talking, but about listening, observing, and understanding. 3. Nature is not our enemy, it's our forgotten teacher. The forest, feared and misunderstood, was not a cause. It was a living, breathing place of sacred trials and ancient truths. When Ademola learned to respect nature, not to conquer it, it opened its arms. This teaches that harmony, non-domination, brings survival. 4. Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to be ruled by it. Ademola was afraid, but he pressed on. He cried, stumbled, and doubted, but he never turned back. Bravery is not being fearless. It's walking toward where fear grips your heart. The first step into fear is the first step into freedom. The path will burn you before it builds you, and everything falls will fall away. 5. Those who change the old way make way for new truths. By returning alive with a healing leaf, Ademola didn't save his wife. He shattered a generation of fear. He proved that sometimes tradition must be questioned, not out of rebellion, but out of truth. The word grows when brave hearts ask, but what if they are wrong? 6. Even the small can conquer giants. The only banga, small bear, fearless, feels that truly mighty leopards. This scene reminds us that strength is not always about size or power. Sometimes resilience, determination are the way to protect and the strongest forces of all. 7. The world changes when one person dares to see differently. It took one man, one broken-hearted, hopeful husband, to step into the unknown. Because he did, a village began to unlearn its fear. A generation began to question old shadows. Never underestimate what one determined heart can awaken. 8. Let truth guide you. Nobody goes far in life without a guide. In the journey of life, everyone needs a guide to reach its destination. Just one wrong step, it could be the end of one's dream, ambition, or life. Would Ademola survive without a guide? No, he didn't stand a chance. I need a guide. You need a guide. You don't stand a chance without a guide in life. You need to know him who is the way, the truth, and the life. In a world full of noise, confusion, discouragement, dangerous smiles, and darkness, His truth, His life, His word will be your compass.